Hello everyone and welcome to Sarthi classes. Today we are going to study what is Euclid's division algorithm. In the previous video we discussed what is Euclid's division lemma. Now Euclid's division algorithm is based upon Euclid's division lemma. First we are going to discuss what is Euclid's division algorithm. Then we will study how do we solve numericals based upon Euclid's division lemma. So Euclid's division algorithm. If you can recall that in Euclid's division lemma, what did the Euclid division lemma stated? It stated that if there exist two positive integers a and b, then there exist two unique integers q and r such that a equals to bq plus r. Now, applying that in the statement for Euclid division algorithm, I can say that if there exist two positive integers a and b such that, now the statement just looks like Euclid division lemma, a equals to bq plus r. then what happens is, then every common divisor of a and b will also be a common divisor of b and r. The starting two lines are taken from Euclid's division lemma and these two lines are new. What does it states? That if in a statement of Euclid's division lemma, if this a and b has a common divisor, then b and r will have the same common divisor. For example, if we let us take two terms a and b which are not co-prime. For example, if I divide 26 by 6, then the quotient is 4 and the remainder is 2. Now I can see that it is a, it is b, it is q and it is r. So here I can see that the HCF, or I can say any common divisor of 26 and 6 is 2. Okay, then this b and r will also have the same common divisor. So 6 and 2 both have HCF 2. Okay, so Euclid's division algorithm is based upon this principle. Now we will study the algorithm which we need to follow to solve numericals based upon Euclid's division algorithm. So first take a look at the algorithm. Now here I have written the Euclid's division algorithm. What does algorithm mean? Algorithm means a procedure or the steps on following which we can get the desired results. Okay, so if we follow this procedure, we can get the HCF of any two numbers. The first step is to write the given numbers in the form as in Euclid's division lemma. Okay, so I need to divide the bigger number by the smaller number and find out the value of quotient and remainder and write it in the form a equals to bq plus r. Okay, so in the first step, what I need to do, I need to write 210 equal to 55 times something plus something will be the remainder. Here I can see that if I multiply 55 by 4, then what do I get? I get 220. Okay, so 55 should be multiplied by 3 and what will be the remainder? The remainder will be 210 minus 165. That is 45. Okay. Now, here we can see that the remainder is not 0. So 55 is not the HCF of 210 and 55. If the remainder is not 0, what we need to do is we need to again write the Euclid division lemma, but in place of A and B, what we will have, the given expression will be like this B will come here and this remainder will come here. Okay, so what do we get? We get the expression of the form B equals to R1 something Q2 plus R2. We get an expression of this form. So now if I put the values of B and R, I get here 55 and here I get 45. Now I can see that 55 is divisible by 45 one times and the remainder will be 10. Okay. Now again the remainder is not 0. Since the remainder is not 0, again we will do the same process as we did in step 1. Again this 45, which was the divisor, will become the dividend and the remainder will become the divisor. Now I can see that 45 is divisible by 10 at 4 times and the remainder will be 5. Again the remainder is not 0. So again we will do the same thing. We will replace 10 as the new dividend, 5 as the new divisor, and we can see that 5 2s are 10 and the remainder will be 0. So now we can see that the remainder is 0. Remainder is 0. Now if the remainder is 0, then the remainder in the previous step, as I have stated here, if the remainder here till the remainder is 0, the divisor at this stage, divisor at this stage where the remainder is 0 is called the HCF of the two numbers, that is 210 and 55. If we cannot determine from here, we can also say that the remainder in the previous step can also be said as the HCF of these two numbers. So either we can say that the remainder in the second last stage or the divisor in the last stage, both are called as HCF of the given two numbers in the Euclid division algorithm. Okay, so we will do some more questions about this topic to understand it more firmly. Let us look at some more examples. Now if we look at this problem, we can see that 12576 is greater than 4056. So 12576 will become the dividend and 4052 will become the divisor. So if I apply Euclid division lemma, I can state that 12576 equals to 4052 times something plus something. Okay, I can get some value of quotient and some value of remainder. So let us find out what will be the value of quotient and what will be the value of remainder. Here I can see that the starting two terms of this number is 12 and the starting term of this number is 4, and we know 4 3s is 12. So let us try multiplying 4052 by 3. We get 3 2s are 6, 3 5s are 15 and 3 4s are 12. So the number is 12156 and 12156 is smaller than 12576. So we can say then when 4052 is multiplied by 3, the remainder is, what is the remainder? If I subtract 12576, if I subtract 12156 from 12576, I get 420. Now the remainder is not 0. So since the remainder is not 0, I will substitute the divisor as the dividend in next step and the remainder as the divisor. Okay. Now I can see there starting two terms are 40 and here the starting first term is 4, and we know that 4 tens is 40, okay, but the last two terms are here are 20, and if 20 is multiplied by 10 times, it will be much greater than 52. So instead of multiplying it by 10, we shall try to multiply 420 by 9. Okay, if I multiply 420 by 9, what do I get? 9 zeros are 0, 9 twos are 18, and 9 fours are 36. 36 plus 1 is 37. So 3780 is smaller than 4052. So I can say when 420 is multiplied by 9, there may be some remainder. We need to find the remainder. So we'll subtract 3780 from 4052. Okay, on subtracting we get 15 minus 8 is 7, and 9 minus 7 is 2, and we get 272. Again we can say, we can see that the remainder is not 0. So again we will do the same thing. We will replace the dividend by divisor and the divisor by the remainder. And we can clearly see 272 divides 720 one times, and the remainder is 420 minus 272 sorry. Then 10 minus 2 is 8, 11 minus 7 is 4, and 3 minus 2 is 1. Again the remainder is not 0, so we will do the same thing. We will replace dividend by divisor and divisor by remainder. Again we can see that 148 2s will be 296, which is greater than 272. So again the division will go one time, and the remainder will be 272 minus 148. That is 12 minus 8 is 4, 6 minus 4 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. So it is 124. Again same thing, the remainder is non-zero. So the dividend will be replaced by divisor, that is 148. The divisor will be replaced by remainder, that is 124. And now we can see that 124 2s are okay. 124 will divide 148 one times, and the remainder will be 24. Again the same thing, that it is a non-zero remainder, so we will do the same thing. 124 will come here, 24 will come here, and into something will result in some remainder. Now we know that if I divide 124 by 24, it will go 5 times. 5 fours is 20, I can carry 2, 5 twos are 10, and 10 plus 2 is 12. So it is 120. So I can write 24 into 5 plus the remainder will be 124 minus 120, that is 4. Now again the remainder is non-zero, so I can write 24 here and 4 here. Now I can see that 24 is completely divisible by 4. So if I multiply 24 by 4, the quotient is 6 and the remainder is 0. In the last step, the remainder is 0. So as we stated in the Euclid division algorithm, the HCF or the greatest common divisor of these two numbers will be either the divisor in this step, in the last step, that was 4, or the remainder in the second last step, that is 4 again. So HCF of 12576 and 4052 comes out to be 4. Okay, so let us move to some more questions from this topic. Now we have a major problem in front of us. It is a very important question for your exam's perspective. In this problem, a sweet seller has to arrange some amount of burfis, kaju burfis, and some amount of badam burfis in a stack. What does a stack means? First you need to understand that. Stack means an arrangement one on top of the other. Okay. This sort of an arrangement is called a stack. A stack is simple is philostructure. It is also called a philostructure. Structure. What does philostructure means? Philo stands for first in, last out. It means that the entry that was inserted in the first will be the last to be taken out. Okay. For example, when you submit your copies, your test copies for checking, what do you try to do? You try to submit the copies as early as possible. So your copy will be submitted at the bottom, and there will be many copies in the top of it, and the teacher will start checking from the top. So your copy will be checked at the last. Okay. So this sort of structure is called a stack. Okay. Now the problem is she wants to arrange them in such a way that each stack has the same number and they take up the least area of the tray. She has a tray where she wants to arrange the burfis in a stack, one top of another, and she also wants to ensure that the burfis on each stack are equal and they occupy the least amount of space on the tray. So what we need to ensure, is that the burfis on each of them is equal. So to solve this problem, the number of burfis that can be placed on each stack should be divisible by a common number. Okay. So the number of burfis that can be placed in each stack for this purpose should be equal to the HCF, that is the highest common divisor of these two numbers. Okay. So while writing the solution, we need to keep in mind that whenever the quantity decreases, okay, then we always need to find the HCF, and whenever the quantity needs to be increased, we will always find the LCM. Okay. For example, there will be many more problems like an athlete running in a circular path. If you haven't done NCERT, then you must have seen a question like that. There are two athletes, one takes 18 minutes to complete a revolution and other takes 12 minutes to complete the revolution. Then after how much minutes they will both meet at the same starting point. Okay, we will do that question later in this video. But in these problems, we can see clearly that they will not meet after 18 minutes, because after 18 minutes, this guy would have completed one revolution, but this guy must have completed 3/4 of the revolution. So it will take 24 minutes for him to complete 2 revolutions, and for this guy to complete 1 revolution only. But after 36 minutes, this guy would have completed 3 revolutions and this guy would have completed 2 revolutions. So they will both meet after 36 minutes. So in these cases, we find the LCM. But in our problem, the amount of Kaju Barfis and Badam Barfis is 130 and 420 respectively. In any case, the amount of stacks that the sweet seller organizes will not exceed 130. Okay, what purpose does it serve if he had to make 130 stacks to arrange 130 Badam Barfis? Okay, so in this problem, we will find the HCF of these two numbers. So we need to write number of burfis that can be arranged in each stack equals to HCF of 420 and 130. Okay, so we can see that 420 is greater than 130. So we apply Euclid division algorithm. So applying Euclid's division algorithm, we get 420 equals to 130 times something plus remainder will be something. Okay, now 13 twos is 26 and 13 threes is 39. Okay, so 130 will divide 423 times and the remainder will be 30. Okay, now the remainder is a non-zero quantity. So what we will do? We will replace the dividend by the divisor and the divisor by the remainder. Okay, now 30 divides 130 4 times and the remainder will be 10. Okay, 34 is 120 and 130 minus 120 is 10. Again the remainder is non-zero. So we will replace the dividend by the divisor and the divisor by the remainder. And 10 divides completely 30 by 3 times and the remainder is 0. So the HCF of 420 and 130 is 10. That is the last divisor or the second last remainder. So it is very simple to find out the HCF or the LCM that we have studied from class 6. What matters is that you must know when to find the HCF and when to find the LCM. So keep in mind that whenever we need to decrease the quantity, we will find the HCF, and we will whenever we want to increase the quantity, we will find the LCM. Okay, so let us do some more questions upon these topics. Now look at this problem. In this problem, we know that a number divides 245 and 10229, leaving the remainders 5. If a number divides another number leaving some remainder, then the first number must be divisible by the second number minus the remainder. What do I mean is, if I divide 26 by 5, then the quotient is 5 and the remainder is 1. So this 26 was not divisible by 5 completely because it was one number greater than the number divisible by 5, that is 25. If this remainder was 0, then this number would have been 25. Okay, then it would have been divisible by 5. But if I subtract this remainder from this dividend, then it will be divisible by the divisor. Okay, by the Euclid's division lemma, we can also state that if A equals to BQ plus R, okay, if this remainder is 0, then A is divisible by B. Okay, I can move this R to the LHS, so I will get A minus R equals to BQ plus 0. Okay, that means if I subtract the remainder from the dividend, then it is completely divisible by the divisor and the remainder is 0. Okay, so we will use the same concept while solving this problem. The problem, the remainder is 5. So if a number divides 245 and 1029, leaving the remainder 5, then it must completely divide 240 and 1024. Okay, so we can write let the required number be x. Let the required number be x first. Okay, now if x divides 245 and 1029, leaving remainder 5, then it will exactly divide 245 minus 5, that is 240, and 1029 minus 5, that is 1024. I hope you must have understood this. Okay, now x will be equals to the HCF of 240 and 1024. Okay, because x exactly divides 240 and 1024. Okay, so x can be any factor of 240 and 1024, but in our problem we need to find the largest number which divides 240 and 1024. So for that purpose we need to find the HCF of these two numbers. Now we can see that 1024 is greater than 240. So by Euclid's division algorithm we have 1024 equal to 240 times something. That something can be 9. Okay, so multiplying 240 by 9, we get 2160, which is a very greater number. So let us try multiplying 240 by 4. So we get 960. So we multiply 240 by 4, then the remainder will be 40 from 960 and 24 from 1024, that is 84. So, plus 84. Here 84 is a non-zero entity. So we will replace the dividend by the divisor and the divisor by the remainder. So now 84 will divide 240, I think 2 times. So 84 2s are is 2 4s are 8 and 2 8s is 16, 168. Okay. Now if I subtract 168 from 240, then I will get 2 from here. 13 minus 6 is 7, so 72. Okay. Now again 72 is non-zero, so we'll place 84 here and I will place 72 here. The quotient will be 1 and the remainder will be 84 minus 72, that is 12. Again 72 will come here, 12 will come here, and 72 is divisible by 12 6 times, and the remainder is 0. So the HCF of 240 and 1024 is 12. Therefore HCF of 240 and 1024 is 12. So the largest number that divides 245 and 1029, leaving remainder 5, is 12. Okay. Now let us move to another question. Now take a look at this problem. This problem is very identical to the problem that we just solved. In that problem we had only one remainder. That remainder was subtracted from both these terms. Now in this problem we are given that when a number divides these two numbers, then in the first case the remainder is 5 and in the second case the remainder is 7. So just similar to the previous problem we just solved, I can state that let x be the required number. If x divides 2053, leaving remainder 5, then it will exactly divide. Okay, if 2053 is divisible by 8, when it leaves the remainder 5, then 2053 minus 5 will be exactly divisible by x. Okay, it will exactly divide 2053 minus 5, that is 2048. Also, if x divides 967, leaving remainder 7, then it will exactly divide 967 minus 7, that is 960. Okay, the problem is very similar to the problem we just did. Now x will be equals to the HCF of 2048 and 960. Here 2048 is greater than 960. We will apply Euclid division algorithm. So we get 2048 equals to 960 times something plus something. Okay. Now 2048 will be divisible by 960 if I multiply it by 2 times. If I multiply 960 by 2 times, the result will be 1920. And if I subtract 1920 from 2048, the result will be 80 from this and 48 from this. So 128. Okay. We get a non-zero remainder. So I write 960 here and 120 will pop up here. Now 960 is divisible by 128 at 7 times, and the remainder will be 128 sevens is 7 to the 14, 14 plus 5 is 19, carry 1, 7 1 is 7 plus 1 is 8. I subtract 896 from 960, so result is 64. Now again we get a non-zero remainder, so I replace 960 by 128 and I replace 128 by 64, and we know 64 2 is 128, so the quotient is 2 and the remainder is 0. Therefore we get that HCF of 2048 and 960 is 64. Okay. So we have got our desired result. If I divide 2053 by 64, the remainder will be 5, and if I divide 960 by 64, the remainder will be 7. Okay. So let us do some more questions again. Now look at this problem. In this problem, we have 2 tankers having the capacity 850 liters and 680 liters of petrol. Okay. We need to measure them one by one, and we are asked that what should be the capacity of the instrument, of the container that we use to measure the quantity of both these tankers. Now, for example, let us assume that I need to measure the size of this duster, okay, and I use a quantity just like this marker, okay. Now, if I measure this duster by this marker, you can see it is almost, I can measure this board by saying that it is equals to 1 marker, okay. Now suppose I need to measure the statement that I have written here, chapter 1 to up to real numbers, okay. So if I measure it from this here, I can say that it is equals to 2 and something a little less than 3, okay. So it is equals to 2 and 3/4. So this marker will not be an appropriate instrument to measure both these quantities, this duster and this heading. We need a quantity that must exactly divide the length of this duster and the length of this heading, okay. So in the similar way, if I divide this volume and this volume, if I need to measure these volumes, I need an instrument whose length will exactly divide 850 and 680. So what do I need? I need a container whose capacity should be should divide 850 and 680. So I need to find the HCF of 850 and 680. So we can simply write capacity of required container equals to HCF of 850 and 680. So by Euclid's division algorithm, we have 850 equals to 680. Clearly it will multiplied one time and the remainder will be 850 minus 680. that is 0, 15 minus 8 is 7, and it is here 1. So I get here 170. We get a non-zero remainder. So we will substitute 850 by 680 and 680 by 170. Now, if I multiplied 170 by 5, what do we get? We will get a quantity which is far greater than 680. So I will multiply 170 by 4 and we get 680. Okay, so 174 is 680 and the remainder is 0. Okay, so now let us see the volume of the container that is used for measuring both these quantities is 170 liter. So capacity of container equals to 170 liters. Let us try and solve this. If I divide the volume of first container, that is 850 by 170, so 0 cancels out 0, and then 17.5. What is 17.5? 17.5 is 85. So I can write that the quantity of petrol in the first tanker is 5 units, and 1 unit is equals to 170 liters. That is the length of the container, the volume of the container. And if I divide 680 by 170, what is 17 4 17 4 is 68. So I can say that the volume of the second tanker is 4 units, where 1 unit equals to 170 liters. Okay, so the volume of the container that we need to measure the fuel in both tankers is 170 liters. Okay, this is a very important question from your exam perspective. Let us move to another question now. Now if we look at this problem, it is a little typical problem. In this problem, what do we have? There is a seminar conducted in any school. Then the number of participants in Hindi, English and mathematics quiz or something are 60, 84 or and 108. Okay, we need to find the minimum number of rooms required such that we can place these students in rooms. Okay, now what is the condition is that there must be equal number of students from each group in the room. Okay, if I take 5 students from this group, then I must take 5 students from this group and 5 students from this group, and the number of students in a room should belong to the same subject. Okay, so if I take on a room 1, then I can place only the students of one subject in that room. Okay, so here we can see that if I take 5 students from group, then these 60 students will be placed in 12 groups. If I take this 84 into 5 groups, then what will happen? The 80 students will be successfully placed in 60 groups. Okay, 16 groups, 16 rooms, sorry. But the next 4 students will be placed in the 17th room. Okay, but according to our condition, what we have, that the number of students in each room should be equal. Okay, so we cannot take 5. So the necessary condition is that the number of students that we place in each room should be divisible, should divide 60, 84 and 108. Okay, so for instance, if where you can clearly see that the HCF of 60, 84 and 108, what is the number which divides all these 3 numbers? It is 12. Okay, 12 5 is 60, 12 7 is 84 and 12 9 is 108. So if I make groups of 12 students, then these 60 students will be placed in 5 rooms of 16 each. These 84 students will be placed in 7 rooms, and in this 108 students will be placed in 9 rooms. Okay, so in total how many rooms will we need? We will need 9 plus 7 is 16, 16 plus 5 is 21. So we will need 21 rooms, and we will accommodate 12 students of each subject in a room. Okay, but we need to write it in the exam perspective. So in your exams, how do you need to write it? So let us write. Number of students of Hindi, English and maths equals to 60, 84 and 108 respectively. Now, number of students that can be accommodated, I hope the spelling is right, in each room equals to HCF of 60, 84 and 108. Okay, now how will you find the HCF of three numbers? Using Euclid's division algorithm. So what we do is that we find the HCF of any two terms first, then we will find the HCF of the next term with the HCF of the previous two terms. For example, let us take 84 and 108 for first. Now HCF of 60, 84 and 108 can be written as, it is very important. So HCF of 60, comma, HCF of 84 and 108. Okay, it is a very important statement, so I hope you note it down and keep it in your mind till your exam. Okay, so now first we will find the HCF of 84 and 108 as follows. If I subtract 84 from 108, what will I get? From here I will get 16, from here I will get 8, and 16 plus 8 is 24. If I, it is a non-zero quantity, so 84 will become the dividend and 24 will become the divisor. Okay, now 24 will divide 84 three times, and it will be 72. So 84 minus 72 is 8 plus 4 is 12. Now this 24 will come here, this 12 will come here, and it will divide 24 two times. The remainder is 0. So HCF of 84 and 108 is 12. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to find the HCF of 60, 84 and 108. So now we will place this 12 in place of this part. Okay, so now finally we need to find HCF of 60 and 12. Okay, so 60 being the greater part will become the dividend, and 12 being the smaller part will become the divisor, and 12 5s is 60. So in a single statement we are done. Now the remainder is 0 and we don't have the second last remainder, so simply the divisor in the last step will become the HCF. So HCF of 60, 84 and 108 is 12. Now we have find out that we need to place 12 students in each room, but we have still not found out that how many number of rooms we require. Okay, so to find the number of rooms, what we do is number of rooms required is equal to number of students, number of participants divided by number of students in each room. Okay, it's common sense. Total number of students will come on the numerator, and the number of students that are placed in each room will become the denominator. On dividing this, we get that the total number of participants is what? 60 plus 84 plus 108. So 60 plus 84 plus 108 divided by 12. If I divide it, what will I get? If you can see, this 8 plus 4 is 12. I can carry 1, and this one will become 9, and 8 plus 4 is 12, then I carry 1. So 1 plus 14, 15, carry 1, and then it becomes 252 upon 12, and it will be 21 rooms. Okay, so I will need 21 rooms to accommodate these students, in which 12 students will be placed in each room. Okay, it is a very typical question but very important. It has come in your CBSE exams or RBSE exams quite a lot. Okay, so we will move to the next question now. I hope you must have understood this topic. Okay, now you look, we have two problems. In the first problem, there is an army contingent which is doing some march past. Okay, there are 616 members of the army which have to march behind the band, and the band consists of 32 members in a parade. And if you know that during a march past, suppose there are these three columns, and this one, and this one. So you must know that in a march past, the number of members in a column are always equals. Means they will always march in a group of 3. Okay, in a group of 3 or 5 or 7, whatever they want. But the number of army members in a column are always equals. Means the amount of players, or members of army in each row is same. Okay, and in the every column is also same. So the number of members which march behind the army should be divisible by, should divide 32 and 616. So the number of columns in which they can march will be divisible by both, which will divide both 32 and 616. So the solution will be number of columns equals to HCF of 616 and 32. Okay, and in the second problem, a mason means a mistri. Okay, the one who works with stones, etc. He need to fit square marble tiles in a bathroom. The size of the bathroom is 10 feet by 8 feet. It is read as feet and read as by and not into. Okay, it is not 10 into 8, it is 10 by 8. Okay, so the size of the bathroom is 10 feet by 8 feet, and he wants to insert the largest size of square tile possible. Okay, the tile is square, you need to remember that. So what should be the size of the tile that he inserts into the bathroom, so that he does not have to cut the tile? Now look, if this is the size of the bathroom, then this is 10 feet and the breadth is 8 feet. Okay, now what should be the size of the square tiles? If he puts 5 feet by 5 feet tile, then in the length this tile will fit comfortably, but the next tile will not fill, because this remaining breadth will be only 3 feet. So he will have to cut this tile to fit into the bathroom. For that, what should be the size of the maximum tile that he can put? Okay, so again, the size of the tile, the length of the tile should divide the length of the bathroom, and the breadth of the tile should divide the breadth of the bathroom. Okay, so the side of tile, because it is a square tile, so length and breadth will be same. So it will be equals to HCF of 10 and 8, that is 2. Okay, so it will be a 2 feet long square tile, and we need to find how much square tiles will be needed. For that purpose, you will divide the area of bathroom by the area of tile. Okay, so I need you to do these both questions as your homework. I hope you must have understood Euclid's division algorithm in great depth. If you have any doubts regarding this topic, then feel free to ask them in the comment section. I hope you like the content of this video. If you did, then please like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. God bless you all.